y'all, it's Kate from the Literary Apothecary, and today is Tuesday, so we're going to do a book tag, and today we're doing the first time book tag. I was tagged by Michael Nip, and I will put Michael Mitch's video down below in the description. Go check it out. He is so fantastic. I love him to pieces. He runs a great Discord where we're all family, and it's great. Sometimes it gets a little chaotic, but it's fantastic. I highly recommend him. If you're looking for a new booktuber that reads a lot of fantasy, Michael Nip is the place to go. So let's just get straight into this. It's been a while since I've done a tag, but now I'm getting back into my normal schedule, and so you'll have more of these coming up. If there's any tags, before I start, if there's any tags that you have seen that you want me to do, let me know and I will add them to the list. So in all of my answers, I tried to keep relatively to when I joined BookTube. Some of them might be slightly before BookTube. Some of them are when I found BookTube but hadn't made my own channel yet. So they're within that relative time frame of almost 2 years ago now. So prompt 1, Sorry Not Sorry, the first book that you could not stop gushing about. The first book I gushed about on YouTube was Just Mercy by Bryan Stevenson. This was before I created a BookTube channel, but my old roommate and I started doing movie reviews and movie trailer reactions, and we kind of combined a movie and a book review into one with Just Mercy because the movie version, the film version, had just come out with Jamie Foxx and Michael B. Jordan, and I had just read the memoir written by Bryan Stevenson, and so we combined that into one video, and I just gushed about that book so much. It was such a moving, impactful memoir. I highly, highly recommend it for y'all to go read if you're looking for a great memoir that'll totally change your life. Prompt number 2, Thank You, Next. The first book that you wish you had DNF'd, and I don't often talk negatively about books on my channel or in life in general. I try to respect books as they are, respect authors that wrote them, but to answer this question very quickly to move on, that's The Devil Wears Prada. Prompt 3, Working Wonders. The first book that helped you work through things. And this one is a book that was slightly before I started BookTube, but The Secret Life of Bees by Sue Monk Kidd. Y'all heard me talk about this a gazillion times, so I won't say much about it. But the characters in this book and the way that they dealt with things that came at them in life helped me be able to deal with things in my own life that were coming. Prompt number 4, Don't Turn Out the Lights. The first book that gave you chills. So I took this to mean the first scary book that I read on BookTube, because a lot of books give me chills in very different ways. So I took this in the scary way, and that's The Patience of a Dead Man by Michael Clark. This was book 1 in that series, and I read this because my friends Sharon and Leslie would not stop talking about it. They loved it so much I had to get in on it, and now I'm reading book 2 in that series, and it's just as good, and holy cow, that book scared the crap out of me. There was one time where I was sitting there reading it, and my roommate at the time had come in from the front door, and I jumped. It had nothing to do with what was happening in the book. It was just the atmosphere that he set in that book made me jump at everything. Prompt number 5, Can I Get My Tom Back? This is a book that made you angry, and this for me is The Kingdom of Flesh and Fire by Jennifer L. Armentrout. I'm sure there have been other books maybe before this that made me angry, but this is the first book that came to my mind. I was so annoyed and angry at our main character. I was like, I get how you're feeling, why you're feeling this, but get over it, because you're in this situation, you can't get out of it, so get over it and deal with it. Stop just whining about it. She annoyed me so much. I just, ugh. Next prompt, Out of the Comfort Zone. The first book that made you fall in love with a genre you'd never really explored before. And this one is, I think, was slightly before I started BookTube again, and that's the Umbrella Academy series, the comic books. I had watched the show, and I absolutely love this show, so I wanted to check out the comic books, and they are absolutely fantastic. Actually, I don't know if they're comic books or graphic novels. Either way, they were the first in that genre for me, and I loved them so much, and I can't wait to continue with them. Prompt number 7, Mirror Image, the first book that made you feel known, and that is The Little Paris Bookshop by Nina George. Y'all heard me talk about this before, but that main character, Monsieur Perdue, is me in the book world. Just want to find the right book for everyone and just be able to give people the books that will help them out. And the last prompt, hop aboard the Wayback Machine. The first book that you reviewed on BookTube. So I talked about Just Mercy before, and that was the first book that I reviewed on YouTube. The first book I reviewed as a booktuber is A Gentleman in Moscow by Moritz Holz, and this book was so good. I want to reread this because it was a historical fiction book, but something totally different than what I'd ever read before. Our main character is on house arrest, but in a fancy hotel in Moscow, Russia. And it's just, you discover this world that he has in this hotel, and it's just so beautifully written, so well done. And there's actually going to be a movie, or maybe I think it's a mini-series done with Kenneth Branagh playing the main character, and he's also directing it. And I can't wait to see that because he's going to do such a fantastic job with it. So now I have to tag some people. So I tag Sharon at Sharon Dwyer. I tag Jessie at The Bookish Mom. And I tag Stephanie at Miss Richards Reads. So you guys are tagged. If you've already done this, tag someone else. If you see this and you haven't been tagged yet, consider yourself tagged and go ahead and do it. It was a lot of fun to think back to some of my firsts on BookTube. So thank you, Michael, for tagging me in this, and don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Let me know, guys, what was the first book that you found yourself in? Let me know in the comments below. As always, my Patreon and my Discord information will be in the description below. There's no pressure to join either, but we have a ton of fun, and it's only $1 to join a month to join my Patreon. So come join it if you want to. If not, I still love you. Keep reading, and I love you to the moon and back. Bye.